Hey everyone, this is the last section of your packet for solving one-step equations. Yay! Okay, so we are dealing with division this time, so you can see where we've got a fraction, we're dividing off something. So the inverse of division is multiplication. So everywhere you see something that's being divided, you're going to multiply. Now the cool thing about this rule, and this is like one of my absolute favorites, is anytime, and I'm going to write this off to the side, anytime you have, now you guys write this down too, two fractions equal to each other. Anytime you have two fractions equal to each other, you can always cross multiply. And this goes from now until you graduate college. Let me focus this again. Okay, so anytime you have two fractions equaling each other, you can always cross multiply. And you might be going, okay, hey, wait a minute, Mrs. Hutchison, there are not two fractions here. Well, no, there's not, but I can make two fractions. And I'm actually going to copy the problem down over here because I don't like how this is going to slant, because I want to be able to show you that we are definitely cross multiplying. So we've got two fractions. And you've probably seen this before, where you can take these two things and set the products equal to these two things. So what we really have is 1 times x, because I'm taking these two things and multiplying them together, and that has to equal the product of these two things. Now I'm going to use the dot here temporarily for showing you that that's multiplication. That's not a decimal. Okay, so this right here is x equals, and when you multiply these two things out, you're going to get 48. And again, once you do your checks over here, I want to see your work. I'll give you a worksheet afterwards, and then you can be done with this packet. So over here, we're going to put this over 1. So 7 equals some number divided by 5, and I want to know what that some number is. So we set these two little guys equal to each other. Hey, little guys. Okay, so this is going to be 1 times a equals 7 times 5. So A equals 35. And if I plug it back in, you can check it and see if it works. Okay, so now we're going to put this 5 over 1, and we're going to do the same thing. So I don't really have to sit there and do my little butterfly motion thing every single time. Okay, so on the next ones, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to actually multiply them. So you can see that 1 times m is just m. And this one you can do in your head, just like these up here, but I'm showing you the work. So m is going to be 15. Okay? So now, coming down to this one, again, when you do multiplication with decimals, make sure you do your decimals right. So 1 times x is just going to be x. 2 times 1.2, I'm going to actually write that out. Now this time I'm going to use a parenthesis, because if I did this, it's going to look a little weird when I do this. Okay, that just looks like 2.1.2. So instead of using my dot, I'm going to put these in parentheses. Okay, so when you come over here and you multiply, and you say this is 2 times 2, and that's 4, then 2 times 2 is 2, okay, and then you're going to count over that many decimal points. Okay, so your answer is going to be x equals 2.4. Any questions? You can't ask me any questions. You can when you're all done. All right, I know I'm being goofy, but that's okay because that's who I am. All right, so I've got 7.3 over 1, and I'm going to go ahead and just say 7.3 in parentheses times 5 equals a. And again, don't let these parentheses freak you out. It just means that I'm taking those two numbers, I'm multiplying them together. So if I have 7.3 times 5 off to the side, That's going to be 15, carry my 1. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 1 is 36. So this answer here is 36.5. Okay, last one. Put it over 1. 1 times m is m. That's going to equal 5.4 times 3. Has to. So 5.4 times 3, off to the side. I've got 12, carry my 1. 15 plus 1 is 16, and put my decimal back in. Okay, and that's all there is to it. So anytime you guys see where there's a fraction and you've got your variable over some number, or your variable is in the form of a fraction equaling a number, you can put it over 1, or it may be already a fraction over here. If it was a fraction over there, you're going to do the same thing. So like, let's say, for example, this was, you know what, I'm not even going to get into that because that's going to get into two-step equations, and we haven't gotten there yet. So anyway, have a great time, and I'll talk to you soon.